Welcome to the next edition of the Hudson County Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Haig, and with me today is a very, very special guest and a good friend. He was an All-American basketball player at Memorial High School in West New York growing up, and then from there he went on to have a spectacular career as the point guard at the University of South Carolina, and then had a professional career in Argentina. But more importantly, he is easily one of the top 5 players in Hudson County basketball history, and was our version, the Hudson County version of Pistol Pete Maravich, with the way he oohed and awed crowds with his flamboyant style and play, even right on down to the floppy socks that Pistol Pete used to wear. And it's none other than my friend Jackie Gilloon. Jackie, how are you, buddy?
I'm all right, man. I got some build-up right there.
Well, that's
anything like that in a while. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well deserved, pal. So, all right, let's go back to your childhood. And you were born and raised in West New York?
Okay, I was born in St. Vincent's Hospital in Manhattan.
Wow.
My parents lived in Manhattan. They're from the west side of Manhattan, or what's it called? You know, the Hell's Kitchen area.
Yep. Okay.
And I'm not sure. It's unclear where I'm pretty sure they still lived there when I was born, but I have no memories of it.
Of course. When you were born, no, I would think you have no memories.
Yeah, I was born there, and then we moved over sometime early on, when I was 2 years old. And we moved to West New York, and for the first, 18 years of my life, I was spent there in those streets. And,
okay. Now,
ball playing, all different kind of ball playing, baseball,
You read my mind. What was it like growing up back then? You played all 3 sports?
It was nice. But always, games were going on in the streets, always.
Right.
Different kinds of games.
And what street did you live on? You remember?
67.
67.
Park and Broadway.
Okay.
So we just get in the street, play stickball and wiffle ball, two-hand touch. We even go to Hudson County Park and play some tackle, football. And really, when I was 10 or 11, I started playing a little basketball. But at 12 was when it really hit me.
Okay.
From then on, that was it.
Did you play nothing else? Didn't you play Little League baseball too?
Much after 12, I didn't. Baseball was my first love. I didn't make the All-Stars in Little League my last year, and I think I got my first little dose of reality. What's going to happen? I can't hit the ball. It's a very tough thing to do, but I'm more apt to do something in basketball. So stuck to it. Started really paying attention to it more. The Knicks, the Maravich thing, college basketball. South Carolina Gamecocks, which most of them were from like the New York City area.
Right.
They were very successful in the ACC back then.
Sure. Okay. But
I played as much as 5 and 6 hours. Some days we did 8 hours. Played and just worked on my own.
Yeah.
A lot of times after 10 o'clock, climbing over the fence, then I continued to play. Cops would kick me out. I'd come back.
Where was the court that you played in that you hopped over the fence?
On 67.
On 67.
We called number 4 School Park.
Okay.
It was really, swings and stuff like that, but like 3 courts, basketball courts.
Okay. And
if you wanted to look for me, pretty much between 12 and 18. I was right around that area.
Okay. And your first taste of basketball glory, you played on that West New York Biddy team that went to the state championships. Is that correct? No?
You're wrong there.
I apologize. Go ahead. Tell me.
We were in I guess we call it the CYO.
Right.
The 7th and 8th graders, sponsored by churches.
Right.
I went to St. Joe's Grammar School, so I played for their team. And in the 7th grade, we did all right, but the 8th grade, much as I can remember, we won it all. And I think if they had an MVP, I'm pretty sure I got it.
Okay.
And that was the first, and I started thinking very serious about it. And Memorial had just won, while I was in 8th grade, they won the county championship.
Okay.
I heard a lot of good things about Tony Yankovic as a coach. And to be honest with you, my views have changed now, but I didn't like the Nuns too much. It didn't seem they liked me. I wanted to get out.
All right. So was there a thought of you going to St. Joe's?
Oh yeah, there was thought up until the 8th grade when I thought it might be possible that I could just go because I saw it in other people going to Catholic grammar school and then deciding no, going to North Bergen or St. Joe's or wherever, St. Peter's.
Okay.
So.
And correct me if I'm wrong.
It was a good decision, and I don't know, academically, I go up and down with that, but it turned out all right. All
right. So correct me if I'm wrong. What were you a freshman in high school in '71 when St. Joe's won it all with
yes.
Don Finelli?
They were 32-0 or 28-0, something like that.
Right.
And we I didn't play against them. I did play varsity.
Oh, you played varsity right away as a freshman. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no. I played this freshman like 5 or 6 games. They moved me up to JV. Played like 10 to 12 games and then up to varsity.
Okay.
But I never did play against St. Joe's, and I think we might have been able to take them if I did. But
okay.
I wouldn't want to see any of those St. Joe's guys. They might disagree with me. But,
well, they did win the county championship that year. I think that's their lone county championship.
Trying to think, Mario Macias, Steve Perry.
Well,
they were very, very good. They beat our varsity guys only by 2, 3, 4 points.
Okay.
That's why I'm just saying, a weak spot was the point guard. But I was such a little kid. I think Coach Yankovic was looking at me. I was 5'7", maybe 110. And he didn't think it could happen. when I played in the state tournament, I played really well. And he ended up starting me, and we did very well.
Okay. But do you remember that county championship game, St. Peter's Prep against St. Joe's, and Finelli scored 36 points?
I'm going to be honest with you, Jim. I really don't.
Okay.
Was it a close game? I don't remember.
Yeah, St. Joe's won by about 6. I think it was like 60, 69, 63, something like that. And Finelli had 36 points. He was incredible.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
and now we know that Don is a very, very successful dentist in Bergen County.
Yeah. He was my dentist.
He was? Oh, okay.
Yeah, right before I got married, I was living in East Rutherford, and he had a practice. Rutherford, my wife-to-be then, found out about it. She said, why don't you go see him? So I did. He did a significant amount of work on it.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's talk about your years at Memorial. And first of all, before you got into high school, did you practice a lot of the stuff that you ended up doing on the court on your own? Like, say, did you throw behind the back passes to a fence or something?
It was when I was a senior in high school. The Newark Star Ledger then was the acknowledged publication for the all-state team.
Right.
And they did their homework very well. And they started the article with Kathy, that kid is out there again, call the cops, and that was all about me being there at 10, 11 o'clock, sometimes later, sometimes 12, doing all those ball handling things.
Okay.
Those things that Maravich used to do, but also working on my shooting. Unfortunately, with my shooting, it could have been a little better, but I really did put time into it. I really did.
Right.
It just didn't turn out like my ball handling.
All right, now, was Maravich an idol of yours? Was he somebody who you looked up to, you wanted to be like?
I said, man, I even look a little bit like this guy, and I liked his style. I did, but he was 6'5".
Right.
I thought there was a chance, I could be 6'2", 6'3". Didn't work out, but the other guy was Walt Frazier.
Right. Okay.
And they were winners, and I was used to winning, so I really loved the Knicks. I used to go to their games. I had a connection, and then later, my junior year, I started getting tickets from coaches in the area. So I love that team. That's a team that I go back to.
Same with me, Jackie. I was a big Knicks fan for going back.
The one that won the 2 championships.
Yep. 1970 and 73. Yeah, those. So
intelligent.
Yep.
Great, and you see now all of them, really, from the first to the 8th man, were very successful after their playing dates.
Oh, without question.
So, you know what I'm saying? But it was very enjoyable.
All right, but I'm saying, did you practice a lot of those, say, behind-the-back passes and flashy passes that you did?
Yeah,
Obviously, you didn't have anybody to practice with, so, I mean...
Yeah, I did. From after my 7th grade, which is, I was 12,
right.
then it became a little fancier, and as I got older and more confident, more and more of that stuff would come out. But yeah, when I was on my own, I would practice, well, at least the dribbling part.
Right.
You know, and the passing just came right along with it. You know, I don't know what it was, but it just all came together, just like it's supposed to. With anything, if you put enough time into it. You know, that's the way I looked at it.
Okay.
And I was putting the time into it.
Absolutely, there's no question.
You know?
But did you get a big kick as you were playing? First of all, let's talk a little bit about your sophomore year, because that's the year you guys went to the county finals, right? And you lost to Dickinson, unfortunately.
Yeah, I shot 1 for 15 that game.
Yeah.
I remember it. But actually, the first game that some college coaches talking to me, I was wondering why they were talking to me but you know, I had a decent floor game. But anyway, that was a triple overtime game, and we had Harry Vager, and Caesar Palamecki, and they were basically we'd go to them for the scoring, and you know, we'd have a bunch of other guys, and I was the third guy with like 10 or 11 points a game.
Right.
But I knew my role. My role was as a point guard. I had known it since Mammoth.
Right.
And I was willing to do that.
Okay.
Good team. I mean, my memories are really, I can't. My memory comes in. I amaze myself with my memory sometimes, and then other times I can't believe I can't remember.
That's all right.
I mean, but we were an excellent team. I don't think we went very far in the state tournament.
No.
But Harry was an excellent player.
Without question. All right. So that's 72.
72.
Yeah. All right. 73. You didn't win the county, but 74 you did. You won the whole damn thing.
No. Nope. My junior year we won. That's when we.
Oh, that's the junior year you won. Okay, go ahead.
We beat Ferris.
Okay.
That was the infamous fight. I got punched. The guy punched me. I won't say his name.
Don't.
I'm sorry, but it came down to what I think anyway.
So you won the county as your junior year in high school. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we beat. They had to cancel the game with a little less than 2 minutes left because there had been 2 instances of fighting.
Right. And was that at the Armory?
I got knocked out. The guy just punched me in the face.
Wow.
Knocked me out. And so they gave the game to us, but they ended up suspending Caesar Palamecki, claiming that he incited it, although they did suspend 2 of their players for the state tournament. But I thought that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he was a little rough under there, but those are the guys who were throwing the fists.
Yep.
Know? So anyway,
all right.
I played Willoughby from Englewood, and without our big man, it didn't work out, so we lost by like 12 points.
Yeah, and he was an incredible player.
Yeah, he was just a sophomore, but he was tremendous. And the team at that point, their team was excellent.
All right, so by then your junior year, you made all county, and you made all Group 4 honors in the state. Was it at that time, Jackie, that the colleges then started, calling you and recruiting you?
Absolutely.
All right.
That's when the first visit I made was the University of Maryland.
Wow. Okay. Now talk a little bit about how these people started calling you, and were you blown away? Were you blown away by that? All these people, all these coaches calling you.
Kind of at this point, I was always a laid back guy, kind of. But I had some confidence to me. I was pretty sure that this is going to happen. Still, when it happens, you're kind of blown away, but it's supposed to be that way,
Okay. So who was the first coach that you heard from that you said, "Oh my God, this is really happening"?
I guess Lefty coming to my house.
Okay.
Coming to my apartment where we lived. That was a big time. That's a Big Vital.
Okay.
That was more my. He was at the University of Detroit at the time. But
sure.
Dick Vital, the guy you see now.
Yep.
He was the same way then.
Yep. Absolutely.
Enthusiastic, loves basketball.
Except that he used to wear big Coke bottle glasses because he couldn't see. So that's how he.
He even My mother was a pretty attractive woman.
Yep.
I think he was married, but just to try and get in my good grace, he sent her a beautiful thing of flowers.
Nice. Well, and you had no chance to go into the University of Detroit. None,
no,
right?
I wasn't feeling that.
Yeah, no.
I wanted to get away.
Okay.
But I wasn't. And he was a likable guy and very good salesman. You feel bad when you tell some of these people that you can't go. Louisiana State won. They came after me pretty big time. I met their coach at the time.
Was Pistol Pete's son? Was it Press Maravich?
No. It was after he coached Shaq too.
Dale Brown. Okay.
Dale Brown.
All right.
They came after really pretty much everybody. I heard from everybody, our letters and stuff like that. But my grades were not the best too. So some of the toughest schools I think like ACC kind of shied away. That might have been why Maryland recanted. What they told me was that they signed a guy named Brad Davis, and all they wanted to do was sign one point guard.
Right.
So they were no longer going to recruit me.
Okay.
And in later years, I realized, the ACC itself had their own, academic
standards. Right.
Standards, right.
All right, Jackie. But tell me, wasn't St. John's in the running for you as well?
They were in the running, but I think they might have came back too because of grade. I'm not sure. I wasn't told that.
Okay.
A lot of times I wasn't told these things, but as I got older, started to realize that.
All right, but Carnesecca going to the. Did Carnesecca go into the ABA hurt you? Did that hurt his chances? Him going to play for coach the Nets?
I don't think so. I don't think so. And my memory's going in and out.
That's okay.
I don't remember. We're talking almost 50 years ago. So remember, I'm getting up there.
Yeah, no.
I remember more like Seton Hall because I was
Raftery, sure.
Was a great guy. They sent their players to some of my games. A guy named Paul Lape.
Oh yeah.
And a guy, the big guy,
Glenn Mosley.
Yeah, Mosley, exactly. Yeah. They were a pretty good team.
Yeah.
And I thought about that for a few seconds.
Okay.
But I really wanted to get away. In South Carolina, the whole thing of the Underground Railroad,
right.
Kind of bought into that. And really, once I visited there, it was lights out.
Okay.
I knew what I wanted.
Right.
Now, I didn't do any investigating as to the style of play. I was told by them, and they weren't lying to me. It was, look, Coach McGuire is really more comfortable with a laid-back, not really fast-breaking team. But Coach Walsh, Chip and Joe, these guys have been working on him because, he was supposed to change.
Right.
And it took him a while. He did, and he didn't. That's another story in itself.
Okay. Were you worried at all that your style might come back and hurt you a little bit because you were as flamboyant as you were as a player?
Yeah, to tell you the truth, Jim, I was walking on a cloud then. Walking on water.
Okay.
And I thought everything was just going to fall hand in hand. I was not worried.
Okay.
It's once I got down there, and we were number 3 in the country pre-season.
Sure.
My freshman year, we had 3 NBA players. One of them, Alex English, is a Hall of Fame player.
Right.
And
you had Tom Riker, right?
Mike Dunleavy.
I didn't
play with Riker.
Okay.
There were other NBA players, all of them. Roach, Kevin Joyce.
Sure.
I didn't play with those guys.
Right.
I met them all, played with them in the summer, stuff like that. They had their share of pros. Alex though is the one that really
was the best. And he became a movie star too. So
I don't know. He had a role or two. Yeah.
No, well, the biggest role was.
I think he played a basketball player.
Right, Amazing Grace and Chuck was the name of that movie. Remember that?
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was a great movie. Jamie Lee Curtis was in that movie too. Amazing Grace and Chuck. So hey.
Yeah, that'd be worse than right there.
I agree. See. All right. So what was that like to be able to play for a coach like Frank McGuire, a Hall of Famer?
He was a legendary coach. I think it was. I don't remember what year, but he got inducted while he was coaching into the Hall of Fame. I think it was my junior year.
Okay.
And, he was kind of during practices were more or less run, well, not really well, by Donnie Walsh and Ben Joe. The minute details with them. But then he would come in every once in a while, and but during the game though, that was him.
Right.
That was that's where he had final decision. And I learned a lot from him. You have to play different styles with different teams you're playing against.
Sure.
And I learned that more when my junior and senior year. We had to play a little more slowed down because you couldn't run with some of these other teams.
Right.
Well, some of my best individual games, scoring wise, were against teams that were beating us, and Coach McGuire lifted the order to not run. Yeah, run with the ball, but we were down 10 to 15 points. There were no 3-pointers, so we wanted to get it up a little quicker.
Right.
But he did a really good job my senior year coaching the team. It was probably the year that we had the least amount of talent. We were able to win 16 games. We won like 3 that we were definitely not supposed to win. We beat Notre Dame that had like 8 NBA players on it.
Right, and that game was on national TV.
Yeah, I believe it was.
Yep.
And we also beat Clemson, who was in the top 10.
Okay.
And that was after they had not played Clemson for 6 or 7 years, and they got out of the ACC.
And Clemson should have been a natural rivalry, considering both of you were in South Carolina.
Getting out of the ACC can be debated for ad infinitum. Maybe not the best idea.
Yep.
In the long run, because 1980 was his last year, and I think it hurt recruiting because the ACC really took off.
Sure.
I wish we were in the ACC, but independent teams was still at that time pretty good. Marquette and Notre Dame and us.
Right.
Amongst others. But then eventually, really it was league oriented. If you were in a league, a big league, and the Big East proves that, because the East was it was tough on the East to recruit against leagues like the ACC. But then when the Big East became a league, boom.
Yeah.
It happened in a big way.
All right. Well, what was it like to be able to play at South Carolina at that time? And did you have a good time there? Did you enjoy being there? In retrospect, was it a good choice going to South Carolina?
Well, you'd never be able to answer that one, but I met a lot of nice people. I had a lovely girlfriend from down here, 2 complete opposites, amazingly. Would I have gone there again? I don't know.
Okay.
I had a couple bad habits that, I was on my own now, so I wasn't as mature as I should have been, but that might have happened anyway. So, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself. I got my degree.
Right.
My last 2 years, I woke up to that because my first 2, I really, I was doing the minimum.
Okay.
But my last 2 years, I realized, this might not last forever. I matured a lot more those 2 years.
Okay.
So, who's to say, Jim?
Right.
We don't know. I don't regret anything at this point. I'm lucky to be alive and alive, and I'm doing well now.
That's all that matters, Jackie. That's definitely
really
the most important thing.
I'm working on myself.
Right. All right. So after you left South Carolina, you had a chance with the Denver Nuggets, I think, in the NBA, right?
Into camp.
Okay.
And I had gone to summer school that summer, but there was nobody playing ball.
Okay.
Around, usually there's people around, but there was nobody. Everybody had gone home, and so I wasn't really playing them. I was doing some jogging and I was lifting weights. The old me, if I was a younger kid, I would have looked somewhere for games, in the inner city or something. But
right.
I didn't do that, so I went. I wasn't in shape. I actually had, in my opinion, a decent chance of making the team. They had a guy named Robert Smith, an excellent little backup point guard. He's about 5'10", but he could really shoot. He could handle the ball too. He's from Nevada, Las Vegas.
Okay.
And they didn't take any plays. They were filled up. They had contract. No, not one rookie made it.
Wow.
So, but one embarrassing thing, I had to throw up. So it was up in Boulder in the mountains, and I was not in good shape.
Oh, and you had no idea about the.
I had to vomit, and that was not. I was a very embarrassing experience.
Well, you weren't used to the high altitude, right? So that must the high altitude must have got to you in terms of breathing and everything, and you never played there before, right?
That and the fact that I was not in really good playing shape.
Okay.
So.
All right. So you didn't make the Nuggets team. And then from there, did you go right to Argentina or?
No, I actually came back and hung around for like 4 or 5 months. And there was a guy who had played John Ribach. He was actually very famous, or wasn't famous. Called on Sports Illustrated. Big fight on national television, Maryland and South Carolina.
Okay.
There's a picture of this guy, John Ribach, with his fist back and somebody holding Lefty Driesell by the waist. Another guy on South Carolina.
Okay.
And this fist is headed right Lefty's way.
Oh my God.
That cover haunted him. But anyway, he was playing down there. And I didn't think they wanted point guards, but Argentina had unlimited foreigners.
Okay. So, really? Okay. That was rare, right?
Everybody else, it was always like two.
Two, right?
So we had 4 players. I was the only guard. I ended up down there. I came home, but they wanted me back, so I went back, and I ended up staying there for another 3 years. So I was there 4 years altogether.
Okay. And they treated you pretty well in Argentina, right? They gave you an apartment.
Oh, yeah, they definitely treat you well. They didn't pay so well,
Right.
Like I think I spoke to you maybe the other day, or somebody I was speaking to. So there's pre-Jordan and post-Jordan money overseas.
Right.
The 2 countries when I was playing that paid was Spain and Italy.
Right.
And maybe Brazil.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
And Greece.
That way you can maybe get, close to $1 million contract over 3 years, something like that. Nothing close to that when in Argentina.
No.
No. And the economy was such a mess that, it was hard. I became I knew a lot about economics after I left it. with the dollar going up and down and,
all right. And did you come back home during the off seasons? I
came back home the first year.
Okay.
And I stayed for like 4 months, and really wasn't. I was still not ready to go into the workforce.
Okay.
And they called me back. I went back. It's funny. I played for a Jewish club down there in Argentina.
Okay.
And very nice people. A smaller club. They didn't have their own soccer team, for example. And it was a nice atmosphere, So I played there for them 2 years. Then they sold me to a bigger club, Independiente. I was the only American on that team, and that's when my Spanish really,
picked up, huh?
Picked up.
Yeah. And you certainly learned how to eat too, right? Because the Argentinian.
You eat very well.
Right.
They definitely eat well, and that's where I learned that a siesta is actually reality. I thought that was just something you read about. But they work till 12 or 1 o'clock, and then they're off until 4 or 5, and they have a big lunch. So you ate well. You lived well.
Right.
Nothing bad happened while I was there.
No. And then and they also paid for your apartment too, right? They gave you
apartment and food.
Okay. All right. So you were there was there any talk at all, Jackie, about coming back home and playing for an NBA team, or did you get any chances?
I didn't have an agent, Jim.
You didn't have an agent?
I'm kind of I'm not good at being a salesman.
Okay.
I didn't advocate for myself to anybody really. I was happy. I was really living well. I had a nice girl down there. And it was easy going and laid back. So, that when I came home, I actually did have another tryout, and it was in Albany.
Albany Patroons of the old CBA. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, CBA. think I was 27. I want to tell a good story. I came home. My father had passed away, and came home. Okay, I was home for like 7 or 8 days, and I wasn't planning on really. I thought that was it for basketball. I had all kinds of thoughts in my mind. What was I going to do?
Okay.
And I got a phone call from Danny Calandrullo.
Okay.
And I had known him a little bit. He was 4 years younger than me. According to him, I was his idol.
Okay.
Coming up.
Which is not a bad thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And
trust me, Jackie, you were a lot of people's idols.
He lit a fire underneath me. And there I saw the benefits of lifting weights, really getting into it. I mean, really there was a health thing going on, I think, in the country. In the early 80s, that's when the Jane Fonda videos came out.
Right.
People were living in gyms. And that's basically what I did. And once again, I got probably in the best shape of my life. Right. I mean, I was strong. I was now 165, 170. For a 6-footer, I was always like 155 in college. So I was living pretty well.
Right.
And this ultimately Petru's thing came along, but I was now 27 years old, or maybe even 28. And I'll tell you what happened. Went the first day, I did pretty well. They had a bunch of kids that were right out of college. And I think it was obvious that they were looking at them closer than they were like some of the others, like me. And the second day, it was double sessions. And in the first session, was it the first session? Yeah, the first session I had a tremendous session. But Meminger was the coach, Dean Meminger. You remember that?
Absolutely, Marquette guy.
Yeah, he didn't. I realized the whole game was going on, the behind the back, all that stuff.
Okay.
And nothing was. Nobody talked to me about it. The second session, he didn't even come. His assistant coaches were there.
Okay.
So I caught an attitude, and I said, "The hell with this. He's not coming. They're not even. I wasn't feeling the vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And you know what I mean if you're on the court during the practice when the coaches don't have you in their immediate plans.
Right.
So I said, "The hell with it." And I just came home and got on with my life.
Okay.
27, 28 years old. Got into education for a little while.
Right.
And then
it wasn't a little while. You were in education for quite some time, no?
I was in for like two years, and then I got this opportunity, Wall Street thing.
Okay.
Which I regret because they were thieves, and
all
I
right.
didn't know. Really, a lot of people didn't know what they were doing working there, but they were selling garbage. And then, anyway, a lot of teachers would tell me, "No, look, we don't make any money. You could make some money on Wall Street." Well, it didn't happen, but I went from job to job for about 5 to 6 years, and subsequently I went back. And at the age of 40, finally, I became a full-fledged teacher.
Right.
For like 16 years.
Okay. All right. And then, was there any thought? I know there was a possibility of you getting into coaching.
Yeah. So I coached. I didn't want to become. They offered me the. I don't know if they were kids or it was Sal Vega, who we know each other very well.
Right.
He was
the athletic director. Right.
And I didn't have tenure yet, so he used to kid me. He said, "Look, we want you to coach the freshmen," and I didn't want to coach the freshmen. And I said, "Look, I'll be an assistant, but I don't want to be the." And that's what happened. Eventually, they got my backcourt buddy from the Memorial, Brian McCann.
Yep.
And he's a coach, of football, baseball, and basketball.
Right.
He had lots of experience. And we did real well. We almost won the county. In fact, we got screwed. I don't remember the particulars of the story. I said screwed. I'm sorry that you can't say that.
No, you could say that. Just don't go any out of control.
We really did. And we did well.
Okay.
But then after that, once again, my problems with alcohol came up. and I had to go away, so I couldn't follow up on it, and it just never materialized.
All right. How big of a regret is that, Jackie? That the demons took over you and took a hold of you, and how big of a?
You know, right now, when I look back and reflect, and I've been, for a good 20 years, I've been dealing with this. So probably, I mean, I should have been dealing with it earlier.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, as soon as you take certain people are predisposed.
Yep.
Like me, I can talk about my family, and all that. As soon as you take the first string, you're almost doomed. That's what I really believe. Now, other people might not believe that.
Okay.
It is, and I do believe it's a progressive thing. Just like I loved playing baseball at first.
Yep.
And basketball, put 8-9 hours in. Well, I was the same way with all the bad stuff. So right now, I'm in a place and I'm doing really well. But it was hard. I mean, you really have to do a lot of soul searching, and it's hard. My advice to anybody would be go somewhere, get some help. In my case, I can just not. I would always think I can take one drink or one drug and I'll handle it. Never happened, man.
Right.
Come on, finally, get with it. I'm almost 64. I'm not a quick learner, obviously.
Right.
But I really feel strongly right at this moment, that's it for me.
Yeah.
The well is dry.
Okay, good. That's good. That's excellent. Good news.
Yeah.
All right, and but that's been a struggle for you for quite some time now, hasn't it?
Yeah, really. I mean, we can go back to when I first left home. Even when I was in high school, but I was still getting what was important to me done, the work done, the basketball part. But as you get older, it's tougher and tougher on you physically, man. And then once again, I was on my own, dorms, girls, bars, and with nobody really, to put you to bed.
Right.
So that didn't help, and I had some really bad. When I think about it now, I was shown some extreme examples of bad alcohol showing up back then. And it just continued, like I said, it's progressive.
Yep.
Progressive.
Okay.
Well, it was to the point where I'm in my 50s, I'm having seizures, I'm spending more time in the emergency room. And it's a terrible thing.
Right.
And I don't want to really bore listeners. There's plenty of help out there. The AA thing really works for most people. NA, AA.
Right.
It's out there, but you got to come to that decision yourself.
Okay. All right. So let's go back a little bit to your high school days, and when you look at it now, how wild was it that you were, like you were basically a Hudson County's version of a rock star? I mean, every gym you went to, everybody all said the name Jackie Gilloon, and they all look forward to seeing you play and to see you do something like let's see him do the behind the back pass, so let's see him make that shot or put the ball through his legs and dribble or whatever. And did you really like the idea that all these people were coming to see you play? That you were that much of a playground legend?
Yeah, I was aware of it, but they kept me pretty much grounded, as far as letting it get to my head. But I was aware of it.
Sure.
I don't want people to think I was conceited or anything like that. So I almost never would bring it up in a conversation. It was brought up to me, and I didn't expound on it.
Okay.
But
how about the idea that could you hear the buzz and feel the buzz of the crowds when you would come and play?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
All right.
But I guess you live for that in a way. But once again, I had good coaching. First priority was always win the game. There was no doubt.
Right.
I feel sorry for Maravich a lot because he didn't really play for any winning teams. His last year that he played
with the Celtics.
A lot of people don't remember this, but he only played like 30 or 40 games, and he played a little bit in the players. So he was on Bird's team when Bird was a rookie.
That's right.
You know, and they were in the playoffs, and I remember there was a play. See how I can remember certain things, and some things are out of my mind. But him and Bird on a fast break, a 2-on-1 fast break, some poor loser had to be checking them, and they did some magic. It was really nice to see. It just made me think, oh, man, it would have been nice to see these two guys play together.
Right.
As a team, you know, more or less if they were closer to the same age. Because, yeah, he was allowed to take 45 shots in a game by his father.
Right.
Well, you know, I'm sure he was thinking that he was doing the best, but I never bought that part of it. Never.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, that's what, you know, I was always coached the right way.
Right.
We're here to win. We're here to have a good time, but, you know, let's priority one.
Okay.
Win the game.
But you obviously, if you let go with a really good pass or you made a really good play, you got to hear the crowd go, ooh.
Yeah, I loved it. And you know, you know, even if you make the pass and for some reason it gets fumbled and stuff like that, you realize that, man, he should have caught that pass. You know, you do like to hear the crowd. There's no doubt about it.
Right. And
if somebody tells you differently, you know what they're full of.
There's no question. All right, but did you have a lot of fun playing back then in high school? You know, like and doing all the different things that you did, and
high school was a blast.
Right.
Now the college, you know, there were sometimes when I didn't start. Not a lot, maybe 10, 15 times in my career, and I went back and forth with Coach McGuire, and it seemed like, you know, Donnie Walsh and Ben Jobe, you know, they were caught in the middle. They wanted me to play, even when they didn't understand it, but you know, I can understand. Okay. Coach McGuire was like 60-something years old when he got me.
Sure.
He looked at me. I had all this long hair, and you know, 140. I was 137 pounds when I got there.
Wow.
My first weigh-in, yeah.
137 pounds.
Yeah,
oh my God.
He used to call me Mickey Mouse. So he went up and down with me, but like I said, really when I was a senior, we were in agreement on everything.
Okay, well I'm glad to hear that. So
but it was enjoyable. You know, we had to, especially like I said, I keep going back to my senior year because we actually won games that we were not supposed to win, which we didn't do in my second year with much better talent. Right. You know, for whatever reason, we won games that we were supposed to lose.
Well, you beat Marquette in triple overtime. The year they won the national championship.
We lost to Marquette, Jim.
Oh, you lost to Marquette.
That's
okay.
one of the things I do remember. I think it was double overtime. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I thought it was triple overtime, but I thought you won that game.
We lost. You know why I know that? Because I know we lost. We played Marquette 6 times in my career. Right. And they were like a big rivalry.
Right, because you got to play them home and home. Right.
Yeah. No, we played them some in Milwaukee, but I think like maybe 4 games in Columbia, South Carolina. Okay. 2 games up in Milwaukee, and we lost all 6. All close games.
Wow, you lost all 6? Oh, God.
6 games.
Wow.
Yeah, and anyway, they were our rival.
Right.
And I remember that. We beat Notre Dame. That was a big game. Beating Clemson, that was probably the loudest the gym down there has ever gotten. That's a big rivalry down there.
Sure. Now it's huge. Now it's...
Yeah. Now, you know, Memorial was they were the Tigers.
Yep.
Right? So I had all this gear when I went down there. I didn't realize anything about Clemson. I barely knew who they were. So I put the Tiger basketball on, the orange and black, and my teammates immediately made it known to me, just throw away all of that gear. You can't, and they were right, because the people take it serious down there.
Sure.
So I did, and I adjusted.
Okay. All right, but there was a big adjustment you had to make mentally from high school, where you were the top honcho, to college where you had to play more of a secondary role, and was that a little?
Right. It began on fire, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
As a freshman, we had our own Christmas tournament, the Frank McGuire Classic. I won the MVP. I was the first team all tournament, and also they had a Frank McGuire Hustle Award.
Okay.
I won all three.
Wow.
So I'm going home with Jimmy Walsh, Donnie's brother, who was a player on the team. And I had these three big trophies that probably weighed more than I did at the time. and I was also leading or second in the country in free throw shooting efficiency. And I had it, it was going on. And then so I went home for like only 2 or 3 days, and I went up to Rhode Island. We had a tournament up there, and really that's when I had 3 friends visiting me up there, and it was not good. There's a lot of bad behavior going on.
Okay.
But I did all right. I was still playing, not that bad, but that's when I think that was the first major road trip that I had.
Okay.
And I just thought I could get away with anything. After that road trip, Donnie Walsh made me close the door, and we had a long conversation.
Okay.
And in no uncertain terms, he let me know that kind of behavior just not going to get it done.
Right.
I did learn a lot about that.
Okay.
And then the season was just up and down. We were very disappointing. Sometimes we played really well, but never for a whole game.
Okay.
No, I don't know who to blame. We were all to blame.
It's not worth it now. That's for sure.
No.
All right.
Chalk it up to experience.
Okay. All right, but when you look back at it, Jackie, do you say to yourself, "Boy, I really made the most of my basketball playing days," or do you look back and say, "Wow, I could have done even more. Who knows if I could have played in the NBA, if I could have played more professionally, or what have you?" But
realistically, at this point, I think I could have played in the NBA at the very least as a backup point guard.
Right.
Nobody's going to stop me from getting the ball up the court and getting it into the outfit. That's for sure.
Right.
And I was capable of hitting a jump shot here and there, but I wasn't physically. I was not a very strong person. I wasn't. I was tough, but that doesn't mean the NBA. I remember seeing Bobby Hurley. He didn't play that much, right?
No.
Sacramento only for like 15 or 20 games. I'm not sure. I could be wrong with that.
Yeah, well, he got hurt really bad in a car accident.
And he was stronger than me, but I remember he was playing against Harper for the Knicks.
Derek Harper, yeah.
Derek Harper. And Derek Harper was like 6'3", 180, 185. See, I didn't have anything like that.
Right.
So I'm not sure, but I know to get the ball up the court and make some decent plays. I could have done that, but once again, I could have had the bad behavior just came in, and that's what was taking its toll. So it could have been better. I'm in a good mood. I'm just happy to be talking to you once again.
Absolutely.
And besides that, I'm very lucky to be talking, and you've been a very good friend.
You go, because I love you, Jackie. So.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. So all told, when you put it all together, basketball was pretty good to you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah.
Got me, the college degree, which opened all kinds of doors.
Right.
That was the most important. And they were drilling that into my head. It didn't get there until I was a junior. I've learned something underneath. So hopefully by now, I've learned, how to behave with myself, making good decisions, on my own,
right,
without being told I have to do this. I know what to do. It's just I'm impulsive a lot of times. I just get out and do stupid things. But now we're talking about my life.
Right. But
who knows how much time we have.
That's it. All right. But all told, your career, when you sum it all up, and do you ever get a chance, unless somebody brings it up, to think back of your playing days and back to those days in when you were in the early 70s when you were playing high school basketball and just lighting up the gyms, and you say to yourself, "Wow, I was really some hot shot."
I'm still in touch with some of my ex-teammates.
Okay.
We lost one of them, John Washington Coast, COVID. I don't know if I told you. I tested positive for that too.
For the coronavirus?
The virus. Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh.
Yeah. Back in the early days. I mean, I didn't feel it. I felt fine. A little bit with the breathing and had a little spiked temperature, but after like 5 or 6 days,
okay,
it pretty much went away. But I do too. I see my teammates, and we commiserate every once in a while. And yeah, it comes up. You know, we could have done this, or we should have done that, or whatever. It definitely comes up. I'm in touch with certain people.
Good. Now that's the most important thing, that you keep in touch.
Yeah.
All right. So you're also.
I don't want to bore anybody with my basketball story.
No, it's not boring at all. Trust me. You know, there's no way it could be boring, because and I've told you this in my lifetime, and I've been around for quite some time watching and covering basketball games. All right. The best high school basketball player I ever saw was Bobby Hurley. And the second basketball player I ever saw play was Jackie Gilloon. And I say that all the time.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Kid was a winner, and really, in my book, bottom line, unfortunately, his thing happened to him in the NBA. But you talking about his father or both of them?
No, I'm talking about the father. The Bobby Jr. was. Well, he doesn't want to be known as Bobby Jr. But he's. Bobby was the best high school player I ever saw play, and you're number 2. So that's not. Yeah, you'll take that.
I am comfortable with that, and I will agree with you.
All right. All right. Well, Jackie, I really appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk to me today. Always a pleasure talking to you, and I'm really glad that I got a chance to do this with you, because you are you're a legend, and legends are hard to find nowadays, and we got to make sure that we treasure the legends while they're still around. So.
Thank you very much, buddy. You just stay in touch. Let me know what's going on.
Will do. I promise I'll keep in touch. All right?
Okay.
All right. Take care of yourself, Jackie.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And that was my longtime friend, Jackie Gilloon, who was a legend at Memorial High School in West New York and went on to the South Carolina and had a pro career in Argentina. And now he's doing his best to recover from his past indiscretions. So, anyway, thanks so very much for tuning in for this week's Hudson County Sports Podcast. And I'd again like to thank my special guest, my associate producer. Not my associate producer, my executive producer is Johnny Haig, my great nephew, who's the one who set this all up and made this possible. And without him, there would be no such thing as the Hudson County Sports Podcast. So thanks so very much for listening, and we'll have another edition of the Hudson County Sports Podcast for you next week. And you take care, and don't forget that you can listen to all of the past Hudson County Sports Podcasts on YouTube. They're all listed there, or if all you have to do is go to Hudson County Sports Podcast, and they're all listed. You can listen to all the past editions, or you can go to my page on Facebook or my page on Twitter, and you could listen to all the podcasts. Those all still remain on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So make sure you could tune in to any Hudson County Sports Podcast you've missed. Make sure you could tune in, and we'd be glad to have you listen in and reflect to all the other people we've had. This was number 27, so it's we're moving right along, halfway through a full year of doing the podcast. So thanks a lot for listening. I'm Jim Haig, and we'll talk to you again next week. Take care now.